Join me on this 7-mile kayak from Pembroke Dock around Neyland Marina and then down the River Cleddau to Milford Haven on the 20th of June 2022. If you like kayaking and are interested in the River Cleddau in Pembrokeshire, then watch on for cinematic footage of the amazing scenery on this route. Stick around to the end for bonus content including logistics such as parking, transport, launch and landing locations, what equipment are used, recommendations for pubs and restaurants on the route, information about tides, currents and other safety issues, links to maps, guides and other information about kayaking the amazing River Cleddau and its many tributaries. Hi, I'm Carlos, captain of the kayak crew. We are obsessed with kayaking and we are vlogging and blogging our exciting kayak journeys. If you are new here, then remember to click that subscribe button to get updates of the videos of our kayak trips. There are links in the description box below to any of the links referenced in the video. So let's jump into the video of my kayak from Hobbs Point at Pembroke Dock to Milford Haven Marina on the River Cleddau in Pembrokeshire. I launched from the slipway at Hobbs Point car park at about 12 noon. I paddled up Neyland Marina for about a mile to Westfield Nature Reserve and then came back down past Neyland Marina and rejoined the Cleddau. Heading south, I passed by Neyland and then on to Llanstadwell and Hazel Beach. I paddled past the terminal at Waterston Oil and Gas Refinery. Entering Scotch Bay, I kayaked past 2 disused industrial piers before arriving at Milford Haven Marina at about 2:30 p.m. So I'm looking across now towards Neyland Marina over on the other side there. My plan is to kayak over there, up Neyland Pill for about a mile or so, back then to the entrance, and then I'm going to kayak down the north side of the Cleddau estuary, going down towards Milford Haven, which is way in the distance down there. So this is the car park in Hobbs Point in Pembroke Dock. I've launched from here before. There's a slipway just to my left, so that's where I'm going to head off from. This is me inflating my drop stitch inflatable kayak on the slipway at Hobbs Point, Pembroke Dock. It was a sunny day with a high of about 20 Celsius. The wind was from the southwest and about 10 to 15 knots. So it's taken me about 10 minutes to inflate the kayak and another 10 minutes to get my gear sorted, and I'm ready for the off. A pre-launch photo is obligatory. So I've just launched from Hobbs Point and I'm looking across the Cleddau. It's about half a mile wide here. That's looking upstream towards the Cleddau Bridge, which is quite a dominant feature. It spans the Cleddau and joins the west and the east banks. Just a quick span downstream, looking south before I cross over to the other side of the Cleddau. So I'm paddling across the Cleddau now from Pembroke Dock to Neyland over on the west bank, and that's Neyland Marina coming up. The river is quite wide here. It's about over half a mile wide, so it takes a while to get over to the other side. Well, at least for me anyhow. I'm going to paddle into this inlet now and go up Neyland Marina. That's the Cleddau Road Bridge. You can also cycle across there as well as walk across there. So this is the first time that I've actually kayaked up Neyland Marina, and very impressed with it so far. Loads of colourful leisure boats. Over there, that looks like the clubhouse for Neyland Marina. It's quite a busy day today. Lots of people enjoying the sun. I've been paddling about almost half a mile up Neyland Marina, and it's a lot bigger than I thought. Well, this is a cracking inlet to kayak up off the Cleddau, a nice little detour. It's very calm here, and you've got the boats and the marina on the one side and nice greenery and wildlife on the other side. So this is the western end of the Cleddau Bridge that goes over Neyland Marina. Ahead of me I can see the end of Westfield Hill coming up. So ahead of me is the large embankment that separates Neyland Marina from Westfield Nature Reserve on the other side. So I've paddled almost a mile up Westfield Hill, and this embankment here marks Westfield Nature Reserve. I've got out onto the embankment to have a quick look into the lagoon, and there's a few swans and cygnets milling about. Westfield Nature Reserve is that lagoon there, and that's the embankment, and then I'm looking back down towards Neyland Marina. I'm doubling back now and going back down Westfield Hill. So I'm paddling back down Neyland Marina, which seems very sheltered compared to the main channel of the Cleddau, which is much wider and more open. That was my first visit to Neyland Marina, and very impressed, and won't be my last visit. So I'm coming back out now into the main channel of the Cleddau. Over there is Pembroke Dock on the other side, and that's the Pembroke to Rosslare ferry that I can see moored up there over at Pembroke Dock. So if you fancy a trip to Ireland on the ferry, that's where you get it from, Pembroke Dock. So on the right there, that is a slipway by the Brunel Quay car park at Neyland. Looks like a good launch spot. So I'm paddling downstream on the Cleddau, going out with the tide. It was high tide at about 11:45 a.m, not long before I launched. That's Neyland Yacht Club over there on the right hand side. I like the shark teeth design on that boat. I should have that done on my kayak, I think. So I'm about 3 miles along my 7-mile route now, heading out with the tide, but it seems slightly against the wind. So I'm heading downstream towards Llanstadwell. You can see St Tadwell's Church over there on the right, that tower, and there's a large group of swans over there in that little bay on the right. As you can see, the Cleddau is more open and exposed to the wind, and a bit rougher than Neyland Marina. So that's the tower of St Tadwell's Church, a really old church at Llanstadwell. The next village downstream from Llanstadwell is Hazel Beach, coming up ahead, where you've got a jetty, and I think there's a pub there called the Ferry House Inn. I'm at Hazel Beach, which is the next village down from Llanstadwell. You can see the Ferry House Inn over there, a nice pub just underneath those wind turbines, and a little beach with a jetty. It looks like a good landing and launching spot. The Ferry House Inn on the left there, nice pub right on the water. The Cleddau is blessed with a lot of great waterside pubs. So the River Cleddau and its tributaries are all tidal. So always check the tide times before you start to try to go with the tide, either upstream or downstream. Just pausing to look downstream towards the Valero oil refinery over there on the east bank. So I'm about 4 miles along the 7-mile route now, and it looks like you've got an oil terminal coming up around the corner. So this is the terminal at Waterston Oil and Gas Refinery for the ships to moor up at. I'm hugging the west, or some would call it the north bank of the Cleddau on this kayak, and I'm looking across there towards the east, or the south bank, which has got the Valero oil refinery. Just pausing to look back upstream, you can see the Cleddau Bridge in the distance, not far from where I launched at Pembroke Dock. These waves here from the wake of a couple of tugboats which went speeding down the Cleddau just now. This is the shipping terminal by the Waterston Oil and Gas Refinery. So this is the oil and gas terminal at Waterston. I've only ever seen these structures from quite a distance away. I've never actually been as close to them as this. I'm trying to stay quite close to the bank because it's safer than going out into the main channel of the river. I'm not sure what that hissing sound is. I hope nothing's leaking. The oil industry came to the Cleddau back in the 1950s. It was developed here because it's such a good natural harbour. It can accommodate the huge oil tankers which come in for the oil refineries. These oil terminals are quite an impressive sight in themselves. A certain industrial charm about them. Looking downstream the Cleddau, there's lots of oil terminals, and on the right there, my first view of Milford Haven. So carrying on downstream, looks like some sort of industrial pier coming up ahead of me, looking down towards the direction of Milford Haven. Looking across there, you can see it is quite industrial on this lower part of the Cleddau. Over there in the distance downstream, you can see Milford Haven. That's my destination. I've never actually been to Milford Haven before, so this will be a first. I'm going to squeeze through this little gap in between the pillars of this pier. This looks like a disused industrial pier of some sort. Not an awful room, but I'm just about through. That's the big Valero oil refinery there, and the terminals with lots of tankers moored up. I'm only about a mile from Milford Haven Marina now, and that's the entrance to Castle Pill, according to the map, with Castle Gardens up there. Some sirens going off. I think it's because of that old sailing ship you can see on the right of the picture, just about coming into view. I got less than a mile to go now, and I'm looking across towards Milford Haven Marina over there. There's some nice Georgian buildings on the way into Milford Haven. The river is definitely calmer again now. It's never been that rough really on this journey though. Milford Haven is on a bit of a bay called Scotch Bay. I've zoomed in on that sailing ship. Those sirens you heard earlier were, I think, the boat saluting it. There we are, a sight from days gone past, an old sailing ship going up the Cleddau River. Great to see that old ship. It does look slightly out of place compared against the backdrop of the super tankers and the oil refineries. I'm getting pretty close to Milford Haven Marina now, and I'm starting to wonder where I'm actually going to get out and land a kayak. So I can see a slipway on the other side, the downstream side of the marina. It looks like an entrance to the marina in the middle, and then there's another slipway on the right hand side. It's a final look upstream before I land at Milford Haven Marina. I'm going to get out now on the right hand side of the seawall. I spoke to a couple of guys who were on a marine engineering vessel, and they suggested I get out on this slipway on the upstream side. The slipway is a very convenient landing point for me to get out at. I'll still have to watch I don't damage the skeg though on the bottom of the boat as I get out on the slipway. Oh, what a great kayak. I'm gonna carry my stuff now up onto the wall of the marina and deflate the kayak up there and sort myself out. So I carried my dry bags and my kayak up onto the wall and looking out over the Milford Haven Marina. Very impressed with it, never been here before, and there's loads of restaurants and pubs all around. I've booked a taxi to pick me up here and take me back to Pembroke Dock, so better deflate the kayak. Yeah, it's handy, this car park.
Whereabouts is your car?
Oh, it's just on the left there, so. I'm back in Pembroke Dock, and by coincidence the ship that I saw sailing up the Cleddau earlier down by Milford Haven is just coming into Hobbs Point. I've just learned that this old schooner is called the Johanna Lucretia and is operated by the Island Trust charity. The car park at Hobbs Point at Pembroke Dock is free and is a good launch point. I usually try and get a bus from the end of the kayak back to the start or vice versa. However, on this occasion I couldn't find a bus route in time and decided to book a taxi from Milford Haven back to Pembroke Dock, which cost me £20. When I had time afterwards, I did discover that there was a bus 356 between Milford Haven Marina to Pembroke Dock train station. By my reckoning, it would probably take you about 50 minutes to go by bus from Milford Haven to Pembroke Dock or vice versa. By contrast, it was about 20 minutes by taxi. Regarding pubs and restaurants, the Cleddau is blessed with a number of good pubs and restaurants right on the water. The Ferry Inn looks like a great waterside pub just upstream of the Cleddau Bridge on the east side of the river. It looks like a lovely place to pull up your kayak onto the beach and grab a beer which you can drink on the terrace overlooking the river. Paddle past the bar and restaurant at Neyland Marina on the way up Westfield Pill. It looks like a great place to have food whilst looking out over the yachts and boats of Neyland Marina. I also paddled past the Neyland Yacht Club on my kayak. It's on the west bank of the Cleddau, about half a mile downstream from the entrance to Neyland Marina. The restaurant and bar at Neyland Yacht Club is called the Alamchine. I kayaked past the ferry house inn at Hazel Beach about halfway along my route. It looked to have a great waterside terrace, and it would have been possible to have pulled up the kayak and nipped in for a drink and or food if I'd had more time. The harbour master at Milford Haven Marina is situated close to where I landed my kayak. It has a terrace overlooking the marina and the River Cleddau. Martha's Vineyard at Milford Haven Marina looks like another great place to have some drinks and maybe some food overlooking the water. The River Cleddau is a large river system comprising the following elements, which include its tributaries. The eastern Cleddau and the western Cleddau join at Picton Point to form the Gleddau, which in Welsh means the two Cleddaus. This combined river then flows all the way to the sea. Downstream from Pembroke Dock, the Gleddau has a more industrial character with many refineries and terminals. Upstream from Pembroke Dock, the Gleddau has a more rural character. The eastern Cleddau, in Welsh called the Cleddau Wen, meaning white Cleddau, can be kayaked downstream from Blackpool Mill down to Picton Point, where it joins with the western Cleddau. The western Cleddau, in Welsh called the Cleddau Ddu, meaning black Cleddau, can be kayaked from Haverfordwest down to where it joins the eastern Cleddau at Picton Point, a distance of just under 6 miles. The Kayak River joins the Cleddau River at Lawrenny Quay and runs for about 2.5 miles up to the magnificent Carew Castle and Tidal Mill. It branches off into two smaller pills which can also be explored. The Carswell River joins the Carew River just above Lawrenny Quay and runs for about 3 miles up to Creswell Quay, where there is a great pub. As you've seen in this video, Westfield Pill runs for just under a mile from Westfield Nature Reserve down to Neyland Marina, where it joins the Cleddau. The Pembroke River runs from the moat of the incredible Pembroke Castle down to where it joins the Cleddau at Pennar Point, a distance of about 3 miles. Cosheston Pill is a tributary of the Cleddau, which is about 1.8 miles long, running from the village of Cosheston down to where it joins the Cleddau at Cleddau Reach Car Park. Perhaps with the exception of Westfield Pill, the other tributaries of the Cleddau tend to largely empty at low tide. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, then let us know by commenting below. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to get updates on our new content, then please click the subscribe button on the left below. Click on the right below to be taken to the playlist of our videos of our other kayaks on the Cleddau and its tributaries. Happy paddling from the kayak crew.